She replaced me with her new family. Years later, she came back begging for forgiveness. I grew up with my mom, just me and her. After my dad passed away when I was just a baby, we were close, and for most of my childhood, it felt like it was me and her against the world. She did her best, I'll give her that. Worked hard, put food on the table, kept a roof over our heads. I never doubted that she loved me. Things started to change when I was around 13. That's when she met him, the man who would eventually become my stepdad. At first, he seemed all right. Quiet guy, kinda distant, but he treated mom well, and she was happy. So I tried to be happy for her too. But when I met his parents, my new step-grandparents, that's when things really took a turn. They didn't like me. Never did. From the get-go, they acted like I was some kind of stray mom had dragged in. Cold, fake smiles, backhanded comments. They always made sure I felt like I didn't belong. At first, I thought I was imagining things. I mean, who wants to believe adults could be so petty toward a kid? But over time, it got clearer. They'd host family dinners and somehow forget to invite me. At Christmas, they'd give gifts to my stepdad's nephews and nieces and hand me a $5 gas station gift card, if they remembered me at all. I tried to ignore it, told myself it didn't matter, but deep down, it hurt. I brought it up to mom once. I told her how they made me feel, how they treated me like I wasn't really part of the family. She just brushed it off, said they were old-fashioned or didn't mean anything by it. She'd always say, just be polite. Give it time. They'll warm up to you. But they never did. And the worst part? Over the years, it felt like mom started taking their side more and more. Like their opinion of me mattered more than how I felt. I could feel her slipping away from me. By the time I was in college, the damage was done. She was fully under their spell. They had money, status, influence, and apparently that meant more than her own son. We barely talk. When we did, it was surface level. No warmth. No real interest in my life. Then one day, she just stopped answering my calls. No fights, no blow-up, nothing. Just silence. I found out from a cousin that she'd told the family I needed to grow up and that she was taking a step back to focus on herself. But I knew what it really meant. She chose them over me. When I finally stood up for myself, told Mom and Richard the first couldn't keep being the one left out, the one they ignored whenever it was convenient, something shifted. I told them flat out, I supported you and Dad through everything. If your parents couldn't accept me as part of this family, then they were gonna lose me too. Mom nodded. She heard me. 3 days later, they called. Said they'd had time to think, and they were ready to accept things. They didn't want to lose Hannah, and apparently, they didn't want to lose me either. I was stunned. I mean, I wanted to believe them. I missed my family more than I cared to admit. I wanted to forgive them. But another part of me still remembered how easily they had shut me out. So I told the truth. I don't know if I can trust you again. You cut me off when it suited you. What happens next time they threaten to disown you? Mom's voice cracked as she said, there won't be a next time. We've drawn the line. You're our daughter, and that's non-negotiable. I looked at her, eyes full of tears. Richard looked more sincere than I'd seen him in years. Hannah gave me a small, hopeful nod. I said carefully, I'm not saying everything's fine. It's gonna take time. But I'm willing to try. Mom broke down sobbing and threw her arms around me. I stayed stiff. I wasn't ready to give in that easily. But I didn't pull away either. After she let go, Richard said something I never expected. We've been looking into family therapy. All 4 of us. Not just for this mess, but to work through everything. Therapy? That stopped me in my tracks. This was the same guy who used to make jokes about the anger management sessions they forced me into as a teen. Hannah chimed in with a smile. It was Dad's idea. He said we've all got baggage. It's time to unpack it. Richard looked straight at me. I should have defended you years ago. After that accident with Hannah's arm, I knew it wasn't your fault. But I let my parents call the shots. That wasn't right. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I'd spent years trying to earn this man's respect, jumping through hoops, going to therapy sessions to fix what wasn't broken in me, hoping that one day he might treat me like a real daughter. That night we talked for hours, painful but honest conversation. We talked about the Christmas betrayal, the final straw for me. All the old wounds I thought had healed, but hadn't. We made a plan. Weekly dinners. Just the 4 of us. No in-laws, no drama. Weekly therapy. Boundaries. Clear rules for what was and wasn't okay going forward. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet. But it was something. After they left, Hannah stuck around. She flopped onto the couch like she'd always belonged there. You okay? She asked. I shrugged. I don't know. Part of me wants to believe them. The other part's waiting for the other shoe to drop. She started picking at a thread on one of my cushions. I get it. But for what it's worth, I think they mean it this time. You should have seen Mom after Christmas. She was a wreck. Kept saying she'd made a huge mistake. Did they ask you to set this up? She shook her head. It was me. I was sick of being the middleman, hearing them talk about how much they missed you, knowing they'd mess things up bad. I sighed and leaned back, worn out. I don't know if therapy can fix all this. Probably not, Hannah admitted. But it's a start. And I'll be there. I'll make sure they don't backslide. Blood or not, you're my sister. That made me smile. When'd you get so wise? She patted my shoulder. Learn from the best. You never gave up on me, not even when I was a brat. Now it's my turn not to give up on this family. After she left, I sat alone in my apartment, thinking about forgiveness, about second chances, about what it really meant to be a family, not just the one you're born into, but the one you fight to keep. Our first therapy session was awkward. We sat in a circle with Dr. Levine, no-nonsense woman in her 50s. Warm eyes, but sharp. Mom whispered, I just want my family back. I stared at her. I want to know why I was so easy to throw away. Richard shifted uncomfortably. I want to be a better father. To both of my daughters. And Hannah, always the peacemaker, said, I just want honesty. No more secrets. No more lies. Dr. Levine nodded. This won't be easy. But knowing what you want? That's a good place to start. Over the next few weeks, we showed up. Even when it got messy. Even when someone stormed out crying. We talked through everything, resentment, miscommunication, guilt, fear. We talked about how Richard's parents had used their money like a leash, controlling everyone around them. We talked about why I kept giving to people who never gave back. Then one day, Richard shared something that changed everything. My parents used money to control me my whole life, he said. If I didn't do what they wanted, they'd threaten to cut me off. When I wanted to marry my first wife, they said they'd disinherit me. I stood my ground then. But after she died, I lost that fight in me. And when they started treating you the same way, Erica, he looked at me, eyes full of regret. I fell back into old patterns. I failed you. That hit me hard. For the first time, I didn't just see Richard as my stepfather. I saw him as someone who had been controlled, too. Just like I had. And in that moment, it felt like maybe, just maybe, we both deserved better. After 3 months of therapy, Mom invited me over for dinner. The house I hadn't stepped foot in since before Christmas. My stomach twisted as I pulled up, afraid of what I might find. But when I walked in, it smelled like her lasagna. And the walls were covered in pictures, me and Hannah together, my college graduation, family trips. Photos I hadn't seen in years. We put them back up, Mom said quietly. They belong here. You belong here. During dinner, Richard pulled me aside, led me into his office. I need to show you something, he said. It was a legal document. I've been working with a lawyer, he explained, to make sure that no matter what my parents say or do, the inheritance won't affect you or Hannah. You're both equal in my will. Always. I was speechless. It's not about money, he added quickly. It's about making sure you know, you're my daughter. Not by blood, but by choice. And that'll never change again. That night, I cried. On the drive home, I called Hannah. You won't believe what just happened. I believe it, she said. Dad's been working on that for weeks. He wanted it to be perfect. When did everything change so much? I asked. When you stood up for yourself, she answered. You showed them they couldn't have it both ways. They couldn't treat you like crap and still expect your support. They realized what they were losing. She was right. At our next therapy session, Dr. Levine asked us what we'd learned. I said, I've learned I can't control how others treat me, but I can control how I respond. I don't need to keep paying financially or emotionally for people to love me. Richard said, I married a strong woman who raised an even stronger daughter. And standing up to my parents? That was long overdue. Mom said, family isn't just about blood. It's a choice we make every single day. And Hannah grinned. I've learned my sister's a badass. And she's not putting up with anyone's crap anymore. We laughed. We really laughed. 6 months after that Christmas that nearly tore us apart, we went out to dinner together at a new restaurant I'd helped open. Sitting around that table, sharing stories, joking, being real with each other. I realized we weren't the same family we used to be. We weren't perfect. We still had bad days. Richard's parents were still lurking in the background. But we faced things together now. We talked. We listened. And most importantly, we chose each other. Every day. That made all the difference.